Hi everyone, if you're new on here, I'm Robert and I know that many of you guys are experimenting a lot with open source AI projects like privateGPT these days, and you are always manually downloading your favorite app, for example privateGPT from GitHub. Then you install the app requirements, then you probably ingest the data or do some configuration, then you run the app, and finally you delete the app. However, at one point you maybe find out that you completely mess up your system by installing all these requirements for the different apps. And then you end up with setting up your virtual environment, you activate your virtual environment, and then you install your app requirements. When you finish with the app, you probably deactivate the virtual environment again, and you maybe delete it. And this is just one reason why I developed aitom8, which automates all of the steps for you. These are just a few of the features of our new product, aitom8. The steps here on the left are more or less the same for each app, but the steps here on the right are unique per each app and are therefore handled by aitom8 plugins. However, if you want to install your favorite app, all you have to do is to run aitom8, then the name of your app, and install. And corresponding to that, you can ingest the data and run the app with these commands. And the last command here on the left side would delete the virtual environment again and also the app. So before we get started with the live demo, if you like this content, please click the like button, the subscribe button, also the notification bell below, so you guys can keep up to date with all of our videos. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, let's do a live demo of aitom8. aitom8 is a command line tool that I've written in Node.js and Bash. You can run it by simply typing aitom8 and enter. This gives you a short explanation how you can use this tool. Basically, you run aitom8 followed by the app with which you want to interact, and then followed by an action which can be different per app. You can install an app if there is a plugin available for this app. You can see the available plugins here in the second line. And in the third line you can see which plugins are already installed. An aitom8 plugin is a very simple thing. Basically it's just a directory here under aitom8 plugins. So in the case of privateGPT, we can look here into the directory privateGPT. Here we find the .env file and 3 scripts. These scripts basically define the actions which will be available here. So if we type aitom8 followed by privateGPT and then press enter, then we can see the available actions here that are determined by the scripts here in this privateGPT directory. So in order to be able to install privateGPT, we would type aitom8 privateGPT followed by install. But before we click the enter button, we want to make sure that privateGPT gets installed in a virtual environment. So we open its .env file here, and here we can see that the environment manager is Conda. This means that privateGPT gets installed in a Conda virtual environment. But we also could choose venv as environment manager here, or use no environment manager at all. However, we stick with our initial environment manager, which is Conda. Here in this .env file you can also see the Git repository from which the privateGPT app gets downloaded, and the Python version with which the environment gets created and the app gets executed. But now let's come back down here to the command line and let's install privateGPT with this command. We hit enter. Of course the installation process takes a little while, so I will pause the video here and come back to you when it's finished. Okay, I'm back again. So let's look into the install script here to see which steps have been performed. So in this install script of the plugin, we basically just perform the steps that are described on the privateGPT GitHub page, which you can find here. Here we download the model. Here we create the .env file from the example.env file. And here we install the privateGPT requirements, which can be found in the requirements.txt file. Optionally, we also copy a private directory here, which can contain your custom .env files, for example. But please note, before these steps are performed, aitom8 downloads the repository from GitHub and creates a virtual environment behind the scenes. We can check this if we scroll back here in the output. And here at the beginning we started with the command aitom8 privateGPT install. And below that we can see all the steps that have been performed. Basically, aitom8 cloned the privateGPT repository from GitHub, and then it automatically created a Conda virtual environment here. Here you can see that the name of the Conda virtual environment is the name of the app. In this case it is privateGPT. And here you can also see the Python version which was used to create the virtual environment. Conda downloaded the required Python version and its packages here. And then aitom8 automatically activated the Conda environment. After these steps, you can see that the steps which are defined in the plugin are performed, which basically is the download of the model, which we defined here, and the copy of the .env file, which we defined here, and the installation of the requirements here. When the steps from the plugin are finished, we can see that aitom8 deactivates the Conda environment again here. The same concept we pursue with Ingest, which basically ingests the data from the source documents directory, and with run, which basically runs the privateGPT app. So let's do the ingest process first. I clear the screen here. I type aitom8 privateGPT ingest, and then I hit enter. I can see that my Conda environment has been activated again. The vector store has been created. The documents have been loaded from source documents. And finally, the ingestion completed here. You can now run privateGPT. And here you can see that the Conda environment has been deactivated again. So finally, let's run privateGPT. You can see the corresponding script here. I clear the terminal window. And here I type aitom8 privateGPT run. And then I hit enter again. Again, this takes a little bit, but we can follow these steps live, I think. Yeah. And here you can see that privateGPT finally comes up with a query prompt here. So that's all for today. But if you like this content and if you want to learn more, please don't forget to click the like button, the subscribe button and the notification bell below. Thank you for watching.